We will call this bottom, I promise, guys, and I'm waiting for a bit lower before we probably take off, because there's an interesting narrative that has been brewing for a little bit of time now, since gold has been rampaging upwards, and that is the rotation from gold into Bitcoin, which will make every cryptocurrency fly. And this could be going under the radar that people aren't realizing, so I'm going to bring it into the limelight so we understand that this next pump higher is probably going to attach with this narrative. Let's go. Justin, Eric Trump says Bitcoin is going to $200,000 this year. So Eric Trump says, okay, the Trumps are stating that by December 31st of 2025, Bitcoin should hit 200K. Okay, so we don't have much time left. There's basically about a month or two months and change. Okay, and that's a short amount of time, right, for us to really hit 200K, which is actually crazy. That means that in any minute now, we have to bottom and start raging on, right? If we don't, time's good. But that's how these pumps happen. Pumps happen quickly. Okay, pumps go like this. It doesn't slowly go up like this, guys, right? Yes, but then it gets faster and faster, right? And if they don't want any, and the thing is, if they don't want to waste any time, they're just gonna flip that switch. Okay, and that's how all the money will pour into cryptocurrency. So this is the narrative, I think, that's coming soon that will pump cryptos very high. Okay, I know there's a lot of bearish people out there, but I have a few charts to show you guys that there could be some bullishness, energy appearing out of nowhere. From CZ, the highest manipulator of this industry, says, prediction, Bitcoin will flip gold, and gold is at 30 trillion. I don't know exactly when, might take some time, but it will happen. Save the tweet, right? So he's saying that Bitcoin will head to 30 trillion plus in market cap, which is, I believe, over $1 million per Bitcoin. Okay, like in the millions range. And people say XRP can't hit $100. Are you serious right now? Right? So gold had a dump moment here, okay? And CZ comes about again, gold won't go to zero, but Bitcoin is better. Right, so there's just energy, and it's attached out there, guys, in the air, that attaches gold and Bitcoin together. Right, that has always been the narrative, but it's getting louder and louder and louder. Why? So let me explain what happened. This is gold's chart on the hourly. Okay, gold the past couple days has been going lower and lower and lower. Right, it's been dumping. People are mentioning that this could have been a short-term top, right? We mentioned we need gold to cool off, right? So this money can trickle down to Bitcoin. I said maybe we'll come back here, right? We need this consolidation phase to happen so this money can trickle down to Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin liquidity will go into Ethereum, and that liquidity will go back to XRP. Okay, so that's the game plan I'm starting to see, guys. And there could be some narratives to take down gold, okay, for the short term, right? We need gold to come down. One being, well, breaking. Chinese researchers have successfully created artificial gold identical in appearance, weight, and conductivity to real gold. Just like lab-grown diamonds, lab-grown gold is now real, okay? Now, this post misrepresents 2018 research on copper that mimic some properties of gold but are not identical in appearance, weight, or conductivity, nor actual gold. This tweet came about October 21st, literally the time when gold started to dump. Right? Even if it's FUD, it doesn't matter. We need any news to take down gold, right? So the money can trickle down to Bitcoin. But I believe this is why I find this so strange that this narrative is becoming louder and louder and louder, right? The reason being is because we know gold has rampaged so crazy, right? It needs to cool off. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous, right? But when it cools off, that money will go to cryptocurrencies, right? This is what I find so strange. Okay, this is the USDC, that dominance chart. What do we have here? Well, check this out, guys. Liquidity is forming to the top side, right? If they don't take this previous liquidity, right, you guys see these liquidity levels forming. If they don't take this liquidity right there, guys, right, and we stop out right here, it's gonna dump, right? Gold's money will go into Bitcoin. It's gonna go crazy, guys, right? And this thing's gonna dump heavy, right? And that money will flood into Bitcoin and XRP. but I'm still waiting for a lower price XRP, like around 230, guys. I'm gonna buy some XRP, right, in the hopes of this narrative explodes where they're flooding gold, and then people start buying Bitcoin, right? They sell their gold into Bitcoin. Now, since we talk about that, right, again, it's so weird that this narrative is coming about when we could be creating a top here, right? We're not 100% right now because we need more price development, right, to happen here. We just need to stay below this wick, guys, and it's going to happen in the next day or so, right? The top probably isn't if it's going to be in, right? Which means if this dumps, cryptos will pump. Now, let's go to the gold to Bitcoin ratio, right? Or Bitcoin versus gold ratio, guys. Okay, so here it is, guys. Okay, now I don't know if you guys remember where we were talking about this chart, right, on the weekly. Okay, so it seems like they killed this bullish divergence that was trying to form here, right? Let's go into 2 weekly. The 2 weekly, they could save it, guys. They have to pump Bitcoin heavy here in the next couple of days, which I do believe it will happen, right? Not to mention, look at this. We're getting to oversold regions on this chart, which is Bitcoin versus gold, right? Every time we're at oversold regions, Bitcoin overtakes gold, right? It's an outperformer, guys, versus gold. Okay, so I am pretty sure we're getting to this level. Look at that, we just hit oversold here, right? So the last time we hit oversold, by the way, was here, right? Look what happened there. Exactly. So minimum, we're about to see a rebound upwards, I believe. It's just my 2 cents here, right? But I think that'll snowball into something bigger, way bigger than people imagine it to be. Justin, Standard Charter says, sell gold by Bitcoin. Rotations could become more frequent. Look at that. We're seeing large institutions literally come out with the same narrative, guys, right? To telling the retail, to telling the public to sell your gold, right? Which is this pairing, okay, inverted. Let's see, right? To sell your gold, and then you want to buy Bitcoin with it, right? You want to buy Bitcoin, which will make this pairing go up. The narrative is getting loud. I think this is happening, right? We'll know again. We will know due to our chart on the USDT.dominance, right? We must not go below this level right there, that wick. If we're under it, this narrative will propel Bitcoin to go to its previous all-time high. It's just my 2 cents. Okay, now gold was dumping. Bitcoin did decouple for a sec. Okay, it was doing the inverse of gold, but right now it's down there, guys. Right, it's down there. Gold is here as well, but I think soon it's gonna go like that, right? But gold will probably keep going lower. That's when the money from gold will go into Bitcoin here. Then Justin from Bitcoin Magazine, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller says, quote, I have always argued that Bitcoin was gonna end up being something like electronic gold. It's a store of value, unquote. Interesting. So the Fed is calling for Bitcoin to become the digital gold, right? Now remember, this is all a luring mechanism, okay? Don't be fooled by the long term of Bitcoin here, right? Because that's the collapse. Right now, we're looking for some short-term narratives that could pump Bitcoin, right? I was going to mention something here. What was it? I think it was something good, guys, but I forgot. I just forgot. But yeah, all we basically need is this narrative to balloon, right? We need, and remember, there's a lot of money in gold, guys, right? Like more than 10x the money in Bitcoin market cap. Bullish Crypto Quant says if Bitcoin market share hits 10% of gold, Bitcoin would hit 170k. Currently, Bitcoin is at 6% of gold's market share. Oh right, I was gonna mention this. Gold. You know, I do believe there's a black swan incoming, right? Not yet though. I think the big one is coming soon. I think the next time gold rises will be when the black swan occurs, the big one out of them all. So I'm hoping for gold to go something like that, right? Cool down there or consolidate and then go like this. That's when the black swan appears, right? But first we want to see a pump for cryptos, which means if gold goes down, that money will rotate into cryptocurrencies, is my opinion, right? But even if a little bit of amount of money rotates from gold into Bitcoin, we could hit 170k. Gold's market cap is 10% right there. So this is gold's market cap, guys. This purple bluish color, right? 10% of it is right there, which would mean Bitcoin would hit 170K, right? Bitwise says a 5%, only 5% capital rotation from gold to Bitcoin. Bitwise says a 5% capital rotation from gold to Bitcoin could send Bitcoin to $242,000. This is the narrative that needs to balloon, guys, so people get tricked, right, into selling their gold for Bitcoin. But when this is all said and done, you actually want to hold gold, not Bitcoin, right? This is the short-term narrative to pump Bitcoin to possibly even these crazy heights, is my opinion. Okay, that's what I'm trying to communicate to everyone. Spread the news that this narrative could balloon out of proportions. Okay, and I think it's soon, and we'll know all due to this chart. Okay. Liquidity forming above, hopefully it doesn't go for it and it comes for it later and this dumps like that, which will make cryptos balloon throughout the stratosphere. Let's see what happens next. Not financial advice, but I'm getting excited. I'm feeling those feelings again that I feel usually something big is on the horizon. Not financial advice, and hopefully something positive for cryptocurrencies. What is this? See ya.